Honestly, I've never checked, I don't know about you, but I've never checked a child that's had a fever that's been clear. I've
Right.
never checked an adult that's been through a fever who's been clear and subluxation free. There's something about whatever goes on there that the body goes into fight, and that alignment doesn't always survive that.
Yeah.
So getting that realigned reestablishes that brain body communication and that power that heals the body.
Yeah. And that sympathetic parasympathetic balance
Exactly.
comes back. And so it's interesting. I think it was Keith Wassung the other day I was listening to, and he goes, I just don't like we boost the immune system. And he goes, technically, yeah, that's what we're seeing. It looks like a boost, but we're actually just rebalancing. Or letting it regulate
Yes.
the way it's supposed to run. And, we're always lean towards, oh, well, there's some kind of neurological insult and it's shutting off the nerve. And he goes, I think along those same lines, there's a neurological insult, but it's stimulating or overstimulating the nerve system, kind of
Yeah.
like you were talking about when the blood vessel is banging up against the brainstem on every heartbeat,
Yeah.
and stimulating that area.
Right.
And so I think that's where we need to get back to, oh, this is shut off and we're turning it on. And I know that was a big thing. Oh, the lights are turned back on. We've said in chiropractic for years. But it's more just getting the body back to regulating the way God designed it to regulate.
Exactly. That homeostasis. That's a critical balance for all of us.
Exactly. And I think, as we talk about the, moving, I think that's where we've moved away from that. And whether that's going more to a mechanistic and instead of vitalistic, but that's what chiropractic has always done, is just restored the homeostasis so the body can function the way
Optimally
God meant
function.
it to function.
Yeah.
And I think it is neat that we are getting to the point of science and research. We're now have the tools to be able to actually show these results that, chiropractors back in the 20s, 30s, 40s were saying this, and this is happening.
Yes.
But obviously they did not have the technology back then to be able to, prove that,
Assess.
if you will.
Yeah.
And so what we've seen now, I'm excited about, because we are starting to, not only in this country, maybe start to question our health care and some of the things that have put out there, and we're getting the technology to be able to go, okay, you know what, we've been saying that people's immune system does better when they're in adjustment. And you're, just
The immune study?
one that you did shows that, and
Yes.
and then there's even bigger tools above and beyond that to go down the road.
Some really good news is that that immune study, I got it done by 2020. I wanted to wallpaper the walls with it once it was published, because I want people to know where their immune strength comes from. But what's interesting, Ray Drury, one of his colleagues is RFK's upper cervical doctor. And so through Ray, I was able to get that study on RFK's desk.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic.
So, and as I said earlier, I now am connecting pediatric groups to work together to do a pediatric immune study from the time they can spit till they're 18 and help parents know where their kids' immune strength comes from, the reality, the real deal.
Yeah, exactly. And then they can make their own decisions on things. It's like, okay, here's the facts. Here's what's going on. Now, it's still your child to raise, and those decisions are yours to make. But
Correct.
at least now you have
Data.
the information to make an intelligent decision.
Yes.
Instead of just listening to, I believe this or I believe that. And so they're actually able to see the facts about the.
That's what I'm led to
everything.
do at this point. So
And,
I'm in the process of organizing that meeting here in the next couple weeks and get the ball rolling on this.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate all that you do with that, and you know, just mentioning the current administration, and I don't care what your political leaning is, but when I look at it from a healthcare standpoint and a chiropractic standpoint, we have never had a better opportunity than we do right now over the next few years with the people that are in place that will at least start asking the questions and listening to natural health side of things,
Right.
or eliminating toxins and things that are detrimental to our health instead of helping with our health.
Yeah. Like
So-
I'm questioning this plastic bottle I'm drinking out of, but
Right.
that's another story.
Exactly. And then we can go into that. And I've recently done some cellular inflammation and detox stuff
Yeah.
that has made a huge difference in me. And when you do that, it's amazing how much better you hold your adjustments.
Yes, that is the truth.
And so forth. So it all works together for sure. And you know, but the chiropractic principle is got to remain our baseline. All these other things, that's great that we can help people nutritionally and that
Amen.
and design that, whether it's inside our profession or working alongside with other people that do these things and co-aligning with that. But you know, I don't care. You can detoxify someone, you can give them all the greatest nutrition in the world, but if there's an insult on their nervous system through the spine, they're going to have problems.
Well, like that young man who gave his testimony on one of my slides, he started with me at age 9 with a 38-degree curvature and headed for 2 rods in 6 weeks.
Right.
And God blessed me with an opportunity to work with him, and 5 weeks later he was down to 1 degree. Incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that you can't walk away from those results. You could do all the nutrition detox you want with him, but it's not going to straighten out the spinal dynamics.
No, exactly.
And he's an incredible golfer. He did his undergrad on a golf scholarship at Stetson, and he's had 4 or 5 shots at the U.S. Open. You know,
Yeah.
what young man with 2 rods in his back accomplishes that in golf?
Yeah, and
Much less the
and
rest
where
of
would he
his
be
life.
in just life in general?
Yeah.
Forget golf.
Yeah, and now he's an incredible upper cervical practitioner
Yeah.
because, you know, he wants to get results for people like I got for him.